In today's video, we've got a lot to cover, including a lot of trademarking news. Take-Two has abandoned the trademark for an unreleased PlayStation exclusive, a game that was announced so long ago and we never heard anything about it. Gamers always wanted to know more about it. We thought Rockstar was working on this PlayStation exclusive. I think at this point, everyone had kind of just accepted the fact that it was never gonna come out, and now I think we can finally bury the hatchet on that one. Also, an old Square Enix IP has its trademark renewed in Europe, and I want to talk a little bit about that, why I don't see a lot of potential for that franchise, but why this is interesting news nonetheless. Also, something related to the Aliens franchise has been trademarked by 20th Century Fox, and outside of that, Amazon is holding a live stream on Monday, and they're gonna release some info about Kingdom Hearts 3, and also today is the day after Black Friday, and speaking of Amazon, they've still got some pretty good deals available, so I want to go over some of those at the end of this video. More on that later. First, let's go over all of the trademarking news, and now I think we can safely say that the once PlayStation exclusive in Agent is no more. Now, if you don't know what Agent is, this was an exclusive to be done by Rockstar Games, the guys behind Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. It was to come exclusively to the PlayStation 3 or just exclusively to a PlayStation platform, and it was announced all the way back at Sony's E3 2009 press conference. We had heard rumblings about this game throughout the years, but nothing really substantial, and I think it came to a point where everyone just quietly accepted, okay, this game is never gonna come out. Still, it's kind of disappointing that now we can finally safely say that this game is probably ever going to happen, because the premise of the game and rumors we had been hearing about the game did sound quite interesting. To see a PlayStation exclusive done by the guys over at Rockstar, I mean, that would have been a pretty big get for Sony, especially during the time of 2009 where the PlayStation 3 was really struggling. I mean, if you go back to that time period and you compare the PS3 to the Xbox 360, the PS3 was getting absolutely destroyed, and having a game like Agent would have been big. At this point, of course, Sony has recovered, but still, it's sad to see that Agent probably won't ever be coming to fruition. More interesting trademarking news is from Square Enix. They have renewed the trademark for Parasite Eve over in Europe. Now, Parasite Eve was a classic franchise that originated on the PlayStation 1. It kind of had a little bit of a Resident Evil vibe to it, survival horror with JRPG aesthetics. It had full motion videos, which were great for the time, but I don't think they've aged all too well. We had Parasite Eve 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1, and then we had a spin-off title known as The Third Birthday. That wasn't on the PS1. That was exclusively released on the PlayStation Portable. That was an okay game. I don't think it really hit that quality threshold of Parasite Eve 1 and 2. I would love to see the games get a full-on remake like we're seeing with the Resident Evil 2 remake. These aren't the kind of games you can really put out an HD remaster for because they are so old, and I do think we would need a complete facelift for the games to actually be successful, but considering the groundwork of what the games are is already set, it would be pretty easy to go back and just remake the games from the ground up. That would be pretty interesting. Square Enix has a lot on their plate right now with the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Of course, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and right now, financially, it doesn't look to be a great time for Square Enix, especially from their Japanese studio department. I do think, depending on what kind of budget they put forth towards Parasite Eve, I think there's a little bit of potential there, but I wouldn't expect it to be of something of the caliber of a new Final Fantasy or a Final Fantasy VII remake or a Kingdom Hearts 3. No way it would perform that well from a commercial standpoint, but if they could put these games out at a limited budget, I think it would resonate somewhat well with the gaming community, but that definitely is a story to follow. Moving on from that, we had the release of Alien Isolation. That was a good game, and now we have a brand new Alien title trademarked, an Alien Blackout, and that was trademarked by 20th Century Fox. Now, you might think this trademark isn't something related to video games. However, the trademark states this, quote, computer game disc software, namely game software, computer game and video game software, downloadable computer game software, downloadable mobile application software used for playing electronic games and streaming audio-visual and multimedia content in the fields of games and entertainment, interactive game software, and downloadable software. So I think that's pretty evident that it is pointing towards a new Alien game. From all that we could tell, Alien Isolation seemed to do pretty well from a commercial and a critical standpoint. The game was received rather well, and considering that this trademark comes directly ahead of the Game Awards, and we know that there are going to be some new game announcements at the Game Awards, I could very well see Alien Blackout being a game shown off at that show. And if you guys have yet to check out Alien Isolation and you dig survival horror games, I would go back and check that game out, as it is quite good. And if you've already played it, well, be on the lookout for Alien Blackout. Again, speculation on my part leads me to believe that this might be a title that is announced at the Game Awards. Moving on from that, a game that we know will be coming relatively soon is Kingdom Hearts 3. It is set for a January 29th release, and as we are inching closer and closer to the release, more information is going to come out the game, and the most recent news is going to come from the form of an Amazon live stream on Cyber Monday. Monday. Now, it's gonna be a stream held by the crew over at Kinda Funny Games, and they will show off a brand new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, and that'll be a worldwide debut, so nothing that we've seen thus far. Also, we're gonna be getting some sort of information on an exclusive DLC announcement. And outside of that, because Amazon Prime gets you a Twitch Prime membership, they'll also be announcing some sort of Kingdom Hearts 3 related incentive if you are a Twitch Prime subscriber. So I would be on the lookout for this live stream. Probably a lot of interesting information is going to come out of it. A brand new trailer, exclusive DLC announcement, which at this point, we really haven't heard anything about possible DLC for the game and if this game is going to get a season pass or anything like that. So that should be some very interesting news, and also for Twitch Prime subscribers, which I think a lot of people are at this point, considering a lot of people have an Amazon Prime membership. So to see what kind of exclusive content is coming out of that, that'll be interesting. I would imagine it'll be some sort of in-game item and things like that. That's usually what they give out with Twitch Prime memberships, but we shall see this Cyber Monday. Again, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be dropping on January 29th, so finally great to see that the game is almost here, and I doubt that the game is going to be delayed anymore. I was still a little bit skeptical heading into this January 29th release, because originally we were expecting to play this game in 2018. Early 2019 is fine, but that early 2019 period of game releases is kind of stacked. This is just coming a couple days after that aforementioned Resident Evil 2 remake, so it's going to be a busy time for gamers with the release of all of those games. Then heading into February, that's a stacked month, but that's not really something to complain about. A lot of great options for gamers across a wide variety of different genres. And lastly, yesterday was Black Friday, but of course a couple of the great deals are rolling on, and Amazon still has some pretty solid deals available. Namely, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is down to $14.99. This game got cheap very, very quickly. Right after its initial release, it was down to the $29.99 price point pretty quickly, but now that it's available for $14.99, this is a great single-player first-person shooter, and it's a rather lengthy game at 10 to 12 hours. I would recommend you to play Wolfenstein: The New Order first, as this one carries directly on from that game, but Wolfenstein 2 does have a quick recap video, but of course a 7-minute recap video is only going to do so much compared to playing a 10-hour game, so I would recommend to play the first title. If you just want a quality, fast-paced first-person shooter that's a lot of fun, Wolfenstein 2 is going to have you covered, and it's a very gruesome game as well. Also, I know this game is getting a lot of flack, but Fallout 76 is getting cheap pretty quickly. It is available on Amazon for just $34.99. Now, keep in mind this, Bethesda open world games, they have been notorious for retaining their value for a very, very long time, so this is very interesting in a sense of how this game is doing from a commercial standpoint. I think it's very safe to say that this game is fumbling quite a bit, and it's falling short of expectations, because had this game been doing good, I don't think it would be at a $34.99 price point this quickly. But still, I do expect Fallout 76 to be a game that gets better over time. Hopefully Bethesda stays committed to the experience, but man, I talked about it before, I have never seen a game as anticipated and of a franchise as big as Fallout to come out to such a negative reception. A 49 on Metacritic right now, that is just a crazy low score. And I really think with Fallout 76 that Bethesda has done damage to the Fallout brand unless they can turn the ship around, and we have seen that before. We saw that with Final Fantasy XIV, we're seeing that with No Man's Sky. I never rule anything out in gaming anymore. Even if a game is really, really bad at launch, there is potential. If Bethesda stays super committed to the experience, that over the course of a year, I could see them turn the ship around. But man, right now it's looking bleak. However, for $34.99, if a couple of your friends are playing it and you want to jump in on the experience, that is not a bad buy at all. And we'll leave a link to both of those deals in the description box down below. Amazon also has a couple of other deals available, but they are getting rather sparse at this point. But I do see them having Assassin's Creed Odyssey in stock as well for $27. I'll leave a link to that in the description box as well. That went out of stock for a little bit. By the time you guys see this video, hopefully it is still in stock, because that is a great deal to buy as well. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider is down to just $25. That's another deal I just saw as of recording this video. That will be in stock on November 26th, but you can order it right now and it'll ship when it arrives in stock. So great deal on that as well. And again, that's going to wrap up this video. Take-Two has abandoned the trademark for the PlayStation 3 exclusive and Agent Parasite. Eve's trademark has been renewed by Square Enix in Europe. Alien Blackout has been trademarked. Cyber Monday will bring a brand new live stream for Kingdom Hearts 3. And great deals on Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, Fallout 76, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Still some great Black Friday deals available right now. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.